Will you and your friends sit down for a chilling RPG experience? Can you survive the night?
Now, as I said, we're going to be doing the Aqualung scenario from Survive the Night game, and you're going to want to pick that up because I'm not going to tell you about the adventure in these videos. I'm just going to basically show you the build and that kind of thing. So if you want to pick up the adventure yourself, make sure you head to the website. I'll have the link below the video.
Hey crafter, welcome back to our Craftober build, right? Awesome. We've got the dungeon build out. We're going to fill it with water. We got all that worked out, but there's a couple things we need to do. One is connect the tiles together. That's another challenge, which is going to be addressed in this video. And the other is kind of to do the transitions between the tiles and add the extra little bits and pieces to the dungeon to give it flavor, the paraphernalia, the traps, that kind of thing, to add ambiance to the dungeon. These essentially clip-ons to the dungeon, right? So this video is going to address those. Now, there's a lot of stuff in this video, and I'm not going to go into minutia of every single little build in this because it would be like a 3-hour video, right? I'm just going to show you, mostly talk about how I built this stuff for the dungeon. I'll show you little bits and pieces, but mostly it's how I'm going to show you the finished products and how I built them, right? So let's hit my table and we'll talk about this. And once we get this all set, I am going to run this puppy at my table. So I can't wait for you guys to see that.
My first order of business was making the clips that hold the tiles together, right? And I thought it'd be a cool idea to do like sewer pipes because the whole thing is like in a sewer. So I thought that'd be really great and thematic for the build. So I started out with some cardstock. You can check out my link below, or you can use something like a cereal box or the back of a notepad like here. You could use something like this. So basically what I did is I just cut these in strips. I cut them 3/4 inches wide and then measured in the center. And that'll just help me when I apply them to the piece that I know where the center is, and I can have half of it on the piece and then half of it hanging down to be the clip. Okay, and you'll see what I mean in a little bit. Then I'm just going to use some regular toilet paper rolls. So, you know me, I like to use my recycled trash and all that kind of stuff, right? And then I measured them out. Then I measured the toilet paper rolls in quarters and then cut them, just kind of fold it over and then cut them into pieces. And once I got all those cut, they're ready to go on. For the partition walls, I'm just going to use my foam core. Okay, I'm going to cut it 3 inches wide by 2.5 tall, and I'm going to sandwich those together. But first, I'm going to add the clips. Okay, and the clips I cut from the cardstock. So you can see the center there. I put glue on it, and that's why. So I know how far up on the piece of foam core to glue it. So I just glued it on there, and once I got that glued on, I glued the ring of the toilet paper roll there and then put it just above the clip, right? And then what I did was I kind of swabbed it like an ear, like a Q-tip around the edge of the pipe because the glue tended to pool around where I put it on. So I just used the brush to swab it off. Make sure you wash the brush off. And then I have all these pieces here. You can see I've got the piece, the pipe on it, and the clip. So now I need to assemble these. All right, friend, here are my assembled pieces. Now I'm going to put a third piece between the two, right? Because I've got 2 tiles that need to connect together. So this will be kind of the center. Then I'll just hot glue that, and then I'll sandwich those together, right? And what that'll do is that'll make the wall between the tiles, and then I'll have the pipe coming out there, right? So very nice. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag some glue along the edge, and this will cover up that seam as well as seal it. Okay, so yeah, it's just easy enough. Just put that on there, and I really like the Sure Bonder because you can use the lower heat setting and it won't melt the foam. If you have the hotter glue guns, it can tend to melt the foam, right? And I really like this nozzle because it has a long piece that I can use to blend that in. So perfect. Now I'll just let that harden up. Nice. All right, cool. I thought it'd be fun to do kind of sludge coming out of the pipes, right? So I'm going to put some hot glue in there and kind of drag it out. And that'll be really gross when I paint it up. I'll just paint it with like gross acrylic colors. And yeah, the players will have to be crawling through this sludge under here. when it comes out. So another thing to make the sewer look nice and nasty. So there you go. Have a little bit of pieces, junk pieces hanging down there. So very cool. Very cool. I then just mixed Elmer's glue all and black acrylic paint and painted it on. So this will do two things. This will harden it up, give it a nice solid coat. It'll keep the paper on the piece, on the foam core, but it also harden up that cardstock and make it really stiff, so when you use it as a clip, it won't easily bend or rip or anything like that. So I painted these up exactly like I did the tiles, so check out build 1 for that. Also what I did though is I painted the pipe a gunmetal and then added the muck and that kind of stuff on it, the same colors I used on the other tiles. So that's all there is to it. And the pieces that are the clips, I just painted like a metal plate, that kind of thing. So that's it. That's the only difference from just painting the regular tiles. Now let's move on to some pressure doors. Alright, crafter, so here's some hallways, my sewer, and I've got the pipe connectors going there, right? But I'm also going to use some pressure-tight, watertight doors, and these will be clip-ons for the walls, and this is exactly the way Wylock does it, very similar to what he does, and with the same effect. So they're very simple to make, though. I just use the tops of medicine bottles, a great thing, recycle craft there. I also got some baby carriages from the Dollar Tree, and what I liked are the wheels on these. They look like the kind of wheel that you'd see on a pressure door, watertight door that you turn, and I really like that. And I just put that on with E6000 and topped it off with a rhinestone. Here are my assembled pieces for the pressure doors. I've got a piece of foam core that I cut. It's 2 wide by 2.5 tall, and I'm going to glue these cardstock pieces on, sandwich it between them. And these are just a little bit smaller than the 2 and the 2.5 tall, just so you can see some of the concrete behind the metal plating. These are going to be metal plates with the doors on going through. So I'll just hot glue those on and using the low temp. Alright, cool. Now I just need to glue these pressure doors on, the pill caps, and I'll just glue on the rim there. I'm kind of doing the inside of the rim so it doesn't leak out and make a mess. And I'm putting it kind of low because they're already a bit off the tile anyway, so you don't want them too tall. You want them to make it look like the people could get into them, right? I'm going to reinforce these with my hot glue, and I'll just go around the foam and just kind of drag that nozzle on the top. This is facilitated by my Surebonder hot glue gun, and I've got this on the low temperature so it won't melt the foam, so very nice. And there we go. That's all there is to it. Super easy with that long nozzle there. And there we go. Just use it to melt right on top of that foam. You're good to go. Nice. Now one last step before I spray paint this flat black, right? Because I'm going to spray paint it because it's plastic. I didn't spray paint the sewer pipes because they were all just card and foam core and that. But I am going to spray paint this since it has the plastic doors. But what I did was I painted all the foam core and the cardstock with that glue acrylic combination. And that'll harden that up. That'll give it a nice toughness that will keep this as a piece that I can use for years and years. So that's the big part of adding the extra stuff, right? Mainly it's the pipes and the pressure doors, but you can see there's some other stuff. There's some other kind of what I call terror bits or murder bits, okay? The terror bits are kind of like giving that sense of doom, striking terror into the players, or adding interest, and the other bits are actually trying to murder your players with it. So yeah, I don't really have time in this video to go through every single little piece that I've done here, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the bits and then quickly talk about how I created them, so you can follow what I've done here, or make a similar type thing. You don't have to have the exact bits, you don't have to have the exact things, but I'll give you enough detail that you can easily follow and make all the stuff yourself. Here is the entrance exit tile, right? And it's just a round room, dry round room with the pipe going out, right? Now I wanted to show the exit, the actual exit. So it's kind of rungs in the cement, and those are just staples from a staple gun jammed into foam core that's glued together. I put a clip on the bottom, and then for the sewer top, I just put a round piece of cardstock. Put a round piece of cardstock with granny grating on either side to make it look like a sewer grate, and that's it. So Super easy to do. And there you go. That's the exit. And I just painted it, dirty and everything, just like the rest of the build. Use the same, colors and everything. And there you go. There's the exit, if they can find the key. Now there's a part where the players come in and they see something on the wall, something gleaming on the wall, right? And it turns out to be reveal televisions, right? Large screen televisions, flat screen televisions. And it's basically showing how they were captured and put in this Deathtrap dungeon. So that's a fun little clip on here. And basically what I did is I just took cardstock, painted it silver on the edge, took images off the internet, glued them to it, and then used packing tape over it and then cut them out. So that's all I did to create those flat screen televisions. And then just pasted them on a wall that I put a clip on. That's it. Alright guys, there's a section of the dungeon where there's a pit with a retaining wall, right? It's a 10-foot pit. And when the players go and look, they're going to find something in there, right? And there are these lockers. And they're locked and the players have to find keys in the complex. So I can just put those in there when they actually reveal it. These are just Jenga blocks that I got from the Dollar Tree, or you can get them in my link below, and just cardstock doors. That's all it was to do these, and just paint them silver and add some, rust color on there, and you're good to go. So the players hear a noise, right? And when they enter this room, they see something. It looks, I kind of describe it like a water pump, like it's making like a water pump-like noise, and they think maybe they can stop the water. But it's really a trap. It has this blade in it. And so the pump is just a click light that I painted with, the muck and the gunmetal. And the blades are just from a brush that I cut off a brush from the dollar store and added to washers. And that's it. That's all it is. Also, a devious and fun little trap you can do is while they're walking through a pipe or something, you can have, and they don't spot it, you could have a bear trap, right? And I just used a little teeny hair clip, and you can put it on the miniature like that, and they can either drag it around, with them if they don't want to try to take it off, or the players can try to get it off them. So that's a fun little thing that you can have in your game, and just super cheap and easy to make, right? All right, this is going to be one little nasty complex trap, right? And basically it's a clip-on, and it has this nasty looking thing with blades on it, right? And it's on a track that runs across the ceiling. So yeah, so cool. And this will be on there, and the players won't find out what it's for until they actually get to the end of the hall, but they'll be like, what the heck is that? And then for the halls to attach, what I'm going to do is just I wanted to have them open, so I didn't use the pipe, so I just made these little clips out of cardstock. And they're just 3-pronged, and you just put them over like that, and it holds it together. So I just didn't add, the pipe to it. So I'm just going to do several lengths of hallway that way, and then I can describe that the track runs the whole length of the hallway, right? So when the players get to the end of this hallway, they run into a circular room, and if somebody steps on the trap, they get caught in this this kind of containment cage, right, that pops up and traps them near the ceiling and right near those tracks that are on the other end of the hall. So that's a nice little dread moment when if a player gets trapped in that, and then the players, can have a chance to get him out. But if they do something else, they might actually trigger the trap inadvertently. So that's a fun little thing in the adventure, right? It is a death trap dungeon. So yeah, if that thing comes screaming at you, or you go screaming at it, check out the adventure, then yeah, you're going to be in trouble. I'm going to say you're going to be in trouble if that happens. So there we go. Nice little trap. So here's the whole kit and caboodle. Here's the start room. I have everything set up. Of course, I wouldn't set this all up pre-set up, but I'm going to show you guys. So there are the TVs that they run into. The water's rising. There's a pressure door. I have yet to paint that one. Sorry. And then they move into this other room. And then in this room, there were some more TVs with shark attacks, and it's just kind of a terror thing that they're using on the players, right? As they move down, there's another pressure door, watertight door that Aqualung can use to move around. Here's another little trap room there, the circular room with some more shark attacks. Here's that bladed thing, right? Pretty nasty. They go down the path. There's the bed thing that can trap you. There's another pressure door, and then it moves around in a circular pattern. And you got the lockers, you got the pump trap and all that kind of stuff. So there we go. Really cool, really cool. And I hope you guys pick this adventure up and play it yourselves. All right, Crafter, that is it. That is the total build of this Deathtrap dungeon. Make sure to pick up the Survive the Night if you'd like to run it yourself at the website. And I had a blast running this. It was super fun. And I hope you guys enjoyed this really cheap kind of dungeon that won't break the bank, but really I think looks good. And let me tell you, at play, it was fantastic having it to lay out, and show everybody the actual layout of the place, and it was really fun. And what I'm going to do for the end of this is I'm going to show you the actual playthrough, right? So that's going to be fun. So be looking out for my actual running of this game if you guys want to see how I ran it and see all the terrain in play and that kind of thing and how the players interacted. Let me just say it was a bloodbath, so you'll enjoy with my evil little glee when I murder the players. But yeah, it was a super fun game, and I hope you guys check that out.